Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. All right, this next one is from Tim. This is mainly for Eric.
Well, I'll just take this one.
Let's take a break. Take
up,
a little
Tim?
coffee break. Oh, but he will accept the opinions of the other guys. So we're back in.
Well, I don't accept your acceptance.
The other guys.
Unacceptable.
Like the other guys, like Marky Mark and Will Ferrell.
I get
Because
to
they
be-
are the other guys.
I get to be.
that's right.
I get to be Marky Mark in your face.
Oh.
Man. If you have a course that has a hole that requires 2 good shots to get within the circle and is all but impossible to get a look for a 2, but is a pretty simple 3 and averages close to 3, should it be a par 3 or 4? Should par be based on if it's a 2-shot hole or what the scoring average is? Does it make a difference if it's a small city park versus a pro tour quality course?
I think it does make a difference if it's just a normal everyday park style of course versus a like national tour course. You know, I mean, for instance, there's Jones East comes to mind when we have tournaments out there. Hole number 3 and hole number 5. Both of those holes come to mind. Hole 3 in the straight position. How far is that hole, Robert? Like
550.
Okay, that's what I was going. I was going to say like upper 4s, but you could be right. It plays uphill too, so
Yeah.
But we play that as a par 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a
it's
lot of those players.
Air quotes reachable.
Well, I mean, even I can get a jump putt on that hole.
Right.
So to me, that's I don't know. It just seems like it would be the easiest par 4
Yeah.
in existence.
By
for the
far
most
the.
part.
It,
It's still
yes,
difficult,
within reason.
but-
Yes,
But you know, and then hole 5, it's probably shorter.
it is definitely short.
But there is OB that comes into play, and that kind of is the true definition of risk reward.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I hear a lot of people talk about, should this be a par 4? There's like 8 people that got eagles on it, or 6 people that got eagles on it, whatever the case is. Yes, I still think just because a lot of people are getting eagles on the hole doesn't mean it's not a par 4. Look at traditional golf.
Right.
They have reachable par 4s. There's a place for reachable par 4s in
And
our sport.
5s.
Yeah, absolutely. So I personally think, yeah, shots to the green plus 2 putts is typically my thought process when I set pars for a course that I'm designing or that we're putting together for a tournament. That can be a little challenging at times because, you know, whose arm are you looking at? You know, is it double G?
Right.
Probably not.
Who tightens his shoes to throw his
Who
600-foot shot? That was
3
awesome.
Eagles
Wild.
in
Just
his round
wild.
this past weekend.
Yeah.
Just dumb. Just wow.
He's good.
You're the man, G. Yeah, so or do you compare it to someone like me
Right.
or Roberts?
Yeah.
You know, someone like I would say
Regular guys.
normal like 400 foot is what I'd consider. Like if it's an 800-foot hole, sure, that could be that's definitely a par 4 distance.
Right. I want to get there
But
too.
I've also played holes that were, I'm trying to think of the one that comes to mind, but there was a hole I played somewhere that was, I think it was 400 feet on the nose, and it was the most legit par 4 I've ever played because it was a dog leg through the woods. So, I mean,
Something like that,
it's
yeah.
total placement shot. You've got to put it in a placement and then throw it to the next shot. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of variables that go into what par is. And at the end of the day, par is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, par is irrelevant. Whether you shot a 8 down or you shot a 4 down, you still shot a 50.
Right.
So I watch. I don't watch a lot of golf, but I watch it every now and then when
I
like.
want to put a pin in that because I
Okay.
have an idea about that. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I watch golf when it's like when Tiger's doing good or there's a real big story behind it or something like that. I want to watch it. Is there the similar argument as far as par in golf as well? Do some people like this is not a par 5? This should be a par whatever. I mean,
I don't think so.
No?
I don't hear that as much at
No?
least. I hear reachable par 4s, reachable par 5s. That some of these bigger, not arms, but bigger swingers. What do they call them? Bigger. My bad.
Disclaimer.
Man. Disclaimer, please. Some of the bigger shot shapers, whatever. The guys that can hit the ball like 400 yards.
yeah.
You know, 350 yards, whatever it is. There's reachable par 4s and 5s in their sport as well, so I think it's perfect.
So there's not arguments
I don't
like that
hear
as
a lot
far
of
as-
arguments.
Not that I hear,
Yeah.
but that yeah.
I was just curious.
I mean, I don't get on the the
golf chats and golf.
the golf
Facebook
debate
page.
group,
golf
and
forums.
Yeah, the golf debate
golf
group.
group.
I'm gonna search for that on YouTube.
One of the
I
best
wonder-
Facebook.
one of the best sources of information
It
on
is.
Facebook.
It is.
That's an interesting point because this golf debate group on Facebook can get pretty gnarly sometimes.
They
And
can.
but they do. I mean,
There's some legit
discussions. I wonder if other niche sports have similar crybabies, have similar people that talk about certain
Wait, what?
things.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
What happened?
What?
So
What was your point?
What I was going to say
bring up
is I was speaking with one of the pin removed from
There
it.
you
I was speaking with one of the FPO players at GBO,
Mm-hmm.
and she brought up an opinion that I hadn't thought about before, and it's maybe assigning, even if the guys and girls play the same course, the possibility of assigning different pars for the guys and the girls.
Yeah.
And the example that we talked about was hole 9 at
9.
the country club, the new one.
Yep. 4 and a 5 probably.
Yeah, it played for the guys. It played nearly a full stroke over par, like 3/4 of a stroke. Very, very difficult, right? But for the girls, it played at like 5 point something, 5.4 or 5.5. Like
Who, keep in mind, played from a shorter tee that
Right.
was probably, I mean, not like ridiculous. It was probably 60 feet,
Something like that,
50
yeah.
feet, maybe, if that.
yeah. But the idea is that, man, I don't know. It's just that's really an interesting thought to me that I honestly hadn't thought about before, because I think there are plenty of girls in the FPO field who are there that week who could throw a shot down the middle, who could throw a shot around the corner and get a birdie 3, but the majority of the field was taking 5 or worse.
Such a hard hole.
Yeah, and if you go OB, it's a super punishing drop zone. But so yeah, I just didn't know what do you think about changing pars for guys and girls? Because I guess the end part of her point was that it looks bad on the women's field to
When they're
see
all
them
super over par.
Yeah, to see everyone being a million over par.
I can understand that, and it depends on which lady or female pro open that you ask too, because there's going to be other ones that are going to be super disappointed that you went and changed
Right.
their par. So
Right.
it's you got to kind of outweighs the pros and cons in that type of situation. What I'd like to see is another hole that comes to mind is that something that you'd probably never see at another tournament before, but hole number 3 at Emporia Country Club.
Yep.
I would like to take that tee and move it back
for the
like
women.
60 feet, 60, 70 feet, and maybe back towards the right a little bit too, and have them play that as a par 4.
I love
and the
that
guys
idea.
still play the normal hole as a par 3.
Yeah, that's a fantastic
And
idea.
how many tournaments have you seen where the ladies played a longer tee than the men?
Not many, but I know that when the Pro Tour started talking about that, when they were talking about different tees for the women, one of the things that they brought up at that time was that it's not always going to be shorter
Not always
tees.
gonna be
Sometime
shorter.
it might be longer tees. I haven't seen that
I
yet.
haven't either. I don't
but-
think I don't think it's happened yet.
No, but I love that idea, especially
too.
on hole 3. Make it a true par 4
'Cause right now for
it
the women-
averaged like 4 something.
Yeah, and granted, the conditions were pretty rough 2 of the 4 days, but the other 2 they were pretty decent, especially for the FPO who went off it, in the morning hours where the wind wasn't quite ripping like it was for the final group of the men. But yeah, so just something to think about there.
Yeah, it's a good question.